Happy Friday Eve, everybody. Before we get into the video, a couple of announcements. Once I get to 250 subscribers, I will be doing a little raffle daffle for this, which I will ship out to you, an Aramith Pro Cup measles ball. So make sure you're subscribed so you can get in for that action. So today we are going to be talking about pool leagues. Which ones should you join, or what should you consider when joining a pool league? Now, the first thing you're going to ask yourself is, what do you want to do in this league? Is it going to be a social thing for you, tournaments? You want to play singles, you want to play teams, you want cash prizes, or you want to win trips? Another factor is going to be, how well is that league run? Now, some leagues are run extremely well, and some leagues are not run that well, and that's going to be down to the individual league operators, and you will definitely be able to find out in your local billiard hall how people feel about that, because pool players are very vocal. It's all going to be also dependent on what state you're in. Some leagues are more popular in certain states than others. The eligibility of these leagues, some leagues have to have a minimum amount of teams to qualify for, say, Vegas tournaments and stuff like that. So that's definitely going to be something that might affect you joining those leagues, as even if you play, or is it going to be eligible for you to go to Vegas? The availability of the game that you want to play. Some leagues are, most leagues 9 ball, 8 ball, but if you want to play 10 ball, straight pool, anything like that, that's going to be dependent on what you do there. Now, a lot of these things have different scoring systems and different ranking systems also. Do you want to have points? Do you want to have games? Do you want to have the National Fargo system? Do you want just their internal ranking system? So that's going to be a lot of questions that you're going to have to ask yourself before you join. And each one of these things has a website. And we'll go through them all really quickly. Excuse me for looking away, but I do have some notes here because there's quite a lot of information to go through. So we're going to start off with the APA, the Amateur Pool Association, I believe. We're going to stick with the 8 ball, 9 ball, and we're not going to get into anything fancy like Masters or Scotch doubles or anything like that. So APA 8 ball, the skill system is ranked between 2 and 7. 2 being your new lower end players, 4s to 5s your mid players, and 7s are obviously your better players. Now 7 is the ceiling, so you could have a 7 that's good, and then you can have a 7 that's really good. So there's a little problem with it there. 9 ball is done skill levels 2 through 9. Same thing, just a larger skill bracket. 8 ball is won by matches, so you will have a race depending on your skill level. If you're a 3-3, then it's I believe it's a race to 3. If you're a 5-4, then it's a 4-3 race. 9 ball is done by points. So you get a point for every ball that you make, 1 through 8, and you get 2 points for the 9 ball. So even if you pot every 9 ball, you could still end up losing the match. There is, apart from local rules, APA is a non-payout league, which means what you win is a trip to Vegas. There's a couple of destination leagues where you can have trips to Hawaii and Canada and stuff like that. Now, there is a cash payout in Vegas. It's not that tremendous though. A couple of the rules. Some of the people do not like the rules of the APA. So 8 ball, the only ball that you have to call is the 8. Everything else is slops, which means you can just grip it and rip it, and sometimes that will help you out. You are what you make on the 8 ball break. So if you break and you pot a stripe, you are stripes. If you break and you pot a solid, you are solids. Sometimes this can hurt you pretty badly. There is no jump shots in APA 8 ball. 9 ball, there is no push out at the beginning, and there is no jump shots. It's really very basic 9 ball. This is good. Where I'm from, this is the busiest league with the most players. It is definitely an entry level league. I personally would recommend that once you're like a skill 5, 6, probably transition into something else unless it's with your friends. But there we are with the APA. The BCA. Now the BCA and the USAPL League are both done by the same company, Q Sports International. Now they use the Fargo ranking system, which is how they rank all the pros and rank every player in the world against each other. You can actually, if you played in these leagues, go onto fargorate.com. You can actually look up yourself and look up every other player in the world too. And this is done by a points and robustness, which is kind of like your matches played, so they can see how well founded your score is. A lot of local tournaments, like cash tournaments and stuff, will require you to have so many games before you get in there. 8 ball is done by points. So you will have the same as the APA, where a skill level will have to get to say 25 points, and if you play a higher skill level, they may have to get to 50 points. 9 ball and BCA is down by matches, so you can pot the 9 ball to win. And in USAPL, it is down to, what is this down to again? Down to points. It's down to points again. So the rules for these are more like the professional rules, but only cue ball fouls, not all ball fouls. You have to call every ball in the pocket. For 8 ball, no call on the balls in the pocket for 9 ball. And they are generally cash leagues, so you will get maybe $1 for a break and run, $1 for an 8 on the break, $1 for a golden break, stuff like that. And then they also have their tournaments in Las Vegas, and their cash payouts are generally a little bit bigger. Tap League, this is brand new in my area, not too sure much about it. It does have probably the best scoring system because it ranks everybody, every ball you pot gets marked down. So if we play 9 ball, I pot 5, you pot 4, it shows me as potting the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it shows you as potting the 6, 7, 8, 9. So you end up getting probably a much fairer skill level. However, BCA and USPL are the worldwide ranking system ones, where TAP is in itself separated with its own ranking systems. Now with TAP, wherever you are, if you play in Florida like myself, if you have enough matches in TAP, you can go to Wisconsin and play in their tournament. So that I do. So some of the things I don't like. APA, the skill level scoring system is dreadful. Pretty much it scores how the winner wins. It does not score how the loser loses. They have this grand equalizer, the safety shot. Nobody really does it. BCA, the only thing I don't like about that is in my local league, you play 4 racks in a night, so you'll have a team of 4 or 3, depending on if you're playing 8 ball or 9 ball, and you'll play just a single rack against a single opponent. So that I'm not a big fan of. Sometimes you can get there at 7, you leave at 11, and all you've done is play 4 racks of pool. Not my biggest fan of doing that. And USAPL and TAP are exactly the same way. So for me, the APA is probably good for your entry-level player. It's very entry-level friendly. BCA is generally for more your higher end, and USAPL and TAP kind of lie somewhere in the middle of those. That's just my opinion on how I do it. Weekend tournaments, totally unaffiliated. Generally, you have to have either an APA score or a Fargo rate. That's just where I'm from. Now, up north, I'm not sure if they include the TAP or USAPL skill levels into that or not. I'm not really sure, but definitely down where I am, you have to have Fargo or an APA score. There's very few tournaments where you can just walk off the street. Now, the biggest thing people are going to say is sandbaggers. These guys, you're going to get them everywhere, every league. If you have prizes and you have money, people are going to find a way to do it. They can say, oh, they have the safety shot. It's really not hard just to go miss a ball and lose a game to keep your score down. If you are 502 Fargo and there's a $500 tournament for $4.99 and under, you just go and lose a couple of games, you're going to be under $4.99. That's just the way people are. That's just the way they do it. So I hope this kind of opens your eyes and maybe gives you a couple of questions that you can ask before you just jump straight into a league. Now, all of these leagues are that if you don't know anybody, you just contact the local league operators. There's flyers always all over the bars, and they will just insert you into a team. Not always the best way to do it. Myself and my wife, we just started playing pool maybe 2 years ago. We just started going to the pool hall and just met people, and we just ended up on teams. So that's about it for today. Don't forget, subscribe, choose the pool league that's appropriate for you.